Yeah, it's mindset cafe, we all about that mindset. Gotta stay focused, never settle for less. It's all in your head, how you think you manifest. So get ready to rise, cause we about to be the best. Gotta switch it up, gotta break the old habits. Get your mind right, turn your dreams into habits. No negative vibes.
Welcome to the Mindset Cafe. This is one of those live episodes that we have been lagging on. There's just been a lot that we've been doing, but that's not an excuse. We will get back to doing these live episodes, once a week, and, some weeks to even catch up and, give you guys some extra knowledge and extra, basically of us. We're going to do, maybe 2 next week. But today's episode is going to be about choosing your friends and choosing your friends, wisely. Who do you surround yourself with? We had posted these things on our Instagrams for you guys to make suggestions. And yes, we did get some suggestions. The people that did suggest, just because we're not talking about that topic today, don't worry. We are going to have episodes about that stuff. We did take note of what those topics were. But like always, it's your boy Devan, and it is your boy Nick here. And
what's up, guys?
We are getting back to it. So Nick, let's start off, talking about what we were talking about with no audio, right? How do you choose your friends? Why do you choose your friends that way, or your circle?
Well, actually, I thought about this while there was no audio. It's like that cliche saying, like, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. Just because like your environment is, your environment is pretty much like is a major contribution to or reflection of yourself and like how you perform in all levels and in all aspects. And the way I choose, me personally, like the way I try to establish, like, who to surround myself with and like the people that I, kind of spend most of my time with is I ask myself, like, they have to check off some boxes. Like, are they like high performing individuals? Are they individuals that, above me in a sense, you know what I mean? And it can be in any aspect, like if it's, kind of like in a fitness aspect or, even just a mindset, kind of like a self-development or even business, like you and me. Like, so pretty much it is the group that I'm with. Are they going to help me elevate myself? Because if I'm like in the group, if I'm the person that's like at the very top, or at least like, not to sound cocky, like, or if I feel like I'm the one that has like the most input or like giving the most contribution, it may be good for the other people, but it's not helping me excel. You know what I mean? So it like pretty much like, are the group or the people that I'm with, are they helping me to excel myself? Is a good factor for me that always like kind of like helps me realize like, okay, am I needing to either look for a different group or straight off somewhere else?
I think it's not that you need to look for a different group necessarily. It's maybe add yourself to an additional group, right? Yeah. You don't need to remove yourself from one group and add to another, because you essentially, I agree with you, right? Like, I don't like being the top dog of the circle, right? And the reason being is if you're the top person in the room, then not saying you can't learn from people that are basically up and coming or below you essentially in title or in, their journey, because you can, but you're going to learn more from being surrounded with people that are above you or further along the journey than you are, right? And you don't need to basically ditch your friends to go hang out with new friends because they're, of higher status. It's one of those things where you have to realize that there's a couple other factors that come into play when you surround yourself with high performing individuals. And then when you start to elevate and you guys are at the same level and you look for another group or basically to add to your network of other people that are even higher than that, again, you start to surround yourself with people that are higher than you. You are the sum of basically those 5 people, right? So it starts to elevate you, because once you start hanging around with high, basically not just talking about like financially, but like their drive, their motivation, like, highly driven people, you're going to basically get some of that drive as well, because you're seeing them do it. They're holding you accountable. And if you're in a group or your friends don't hold you accountable to things, you got to realize that, are those really your friends?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you already know our relationship, like we call each other out on stuff, and it's like, it's not like to be mean or to, be hard on the other person. It's like, look, I know what you're capable of. You know what I'm capable of. And if we're not holding ourselves to what the other person knows we can do, then we let each other know.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, again, the higher you go, the more accountable and the more they're going to push you. And it's, again, to push you because they care. But if you're someone that is hanging around and you're the top person in your circle, you feel like you're the top dog, or you're the average of everyone as well, and you don't want to elevate yourself, in my mind, typically it's you're comfortable and you don't want to step out of that comfort zone because you're worried that someone above you is going to think less of you because you're below them in your journey. And in reality, they're going to actually see the drive and see the motivation that you're trying to do, and they're going to want to help you. Right.
And I think, like, at least, like, like when me and you first kind of started this whole thing, like one of the talks that we've had was, or I guess like the agreement that we had was more so like, what is like one of the number one things for both of us to always remember, aside from what you said of holding each other accountable? Yeah, we're always tough on each other, but of course, like, I think that's like that tough love. It's like you and me are like brothers, like, meaning like, if no one's gonna tell each other like where our faults are and like what we know, like you said, what we're capable of and holding each other accountable, then we don't really like give a shit about each other.
Right.
But on top of that, like, what we said to ourselves was like, I guess that drive and that room for like growth. That word growth like really stuck to me from like your and my conversation way in the beginning, because it's like you said, being complacent, being comfortable is gonna kill our success. You know what I mean? And pretty much the progress and the productivity that we have for each of us as individuals, but also as a unit. You know what I mean? As like for the whole thing. Because like if you and I were to just like Geraldine said, bad boys. It's like it's true though. Like, you know what I mean? Like if we like stay comfortable and stagnant, like I feel like Strive itself and like everything that we are working towards, it's not going to grow to where we imagine it if we don't push for growth, push each other for growth. And that means like branching out and learning from other people.
Yeah.
And I've heard it, I'm sure everybody as well has heard it at some form or fashion, that you kind of want to surround yourself, or at least like look for mentors.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like mentors in a way that whether it's financial, even if it's like, fitness, health, just overall positivity, self-development. It's like, if it's someone that you aspire and that you see that they have going for themselves, you kind of want to be around them, so that the things that you can adapt and that you can learn from them is going to help push you forward. But if there's no bar that's higher, like if we're not reaching or striving for something above us, you're capped out right there. Right. And then it's not saying like you're not capable of it. It's just that you need guidance. You know what I mean? And like the group that you surround yourself with is your guide.
Yeah.
And
I think it's one of those things too, that you and I push each other, and the people we surround ourselves, we don't really tolerate like mediocrity in our circle. And it's not a bad thing. No. But that's just, I personally just don't want to spend my time with someone that's just comfortable settling and knowing that they're settling. Mm-hmm. Right? Knowing that they could do more and that they're capable of more, but choose not to do it just because. Right? And I just personally don't want to spend my free time with someone like that. Right? So you're not going to be in my direct circle, because in any area of life, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your finances, whether it's your fitness, whether it's your mindset, personal development, like you should be trying to improve, even if it's just a little bit each day. But that's why leveling up and finding these new groups of people and new friends and networking and stuff, and getting uncomfortable knowing that you're not the top dog in this pond anymore, the big fish in this pond anymore. It's a humbling experience as well. Mm-hmm. Right? And so that's where it almost lets you recenter and realize that there's always going to be someone bigger. There's always a bigger dog. Yeah. Right? But at the same time, as you start to go up the ranks, it doesn't necessarily get as competitive as it is at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone wants to help, because if you show them that you're already up there and that you're trying to continue, like they want to basically help you and pull you up with them, and then you can basically grow faster together. Right. So that's why, I mean, we're huge on collaborating here with the business, with everything, but even with the networking group that we're a part of and stuff, and talking to business owners that have been in business for, decades. And when I'm sitting at the table with them, like, I'm definitely the small fish of that pond, but yet they still listen to some of the ideas and stuff that I'm bringing to the table, because it's a different perspective, and they know that it can still solve some problems, and vice versa. Yeah. I know I don't know everything. I know that you don't know everything, right? And it's like, this is how you learn. Like, we hired for the franchise, we hired a mentor, an advisor, someone that had already built a franchise and did it, right? Instead of just, beating our head against the wall and being like, look, like, we can figure it out. It's like, yeah, we could, but it's like, why not surround ourselves with other people, right? Mm-hmm. And through the networking and stuff, like, we met another franchisor launching their franchise, and we get to collaborate with them. We're in different industries and everything. So it's like, that's where the best ideas come from. Right. But if you're okay with settling with where you are, and you're like, well, I like my life. It's like, yeah, but you can't tell me there's not any area of your life that you could improve. Like, you can't tell me that reading wouldn't help you. You can't tell me that working out wouldn't help you. Right. If you work out 2 times a week, you can't tell me that 4 times a week wouldn't help you. Right. So it's like, there's always room for improvement. And if you surround yourself with people that just let you be you, right? The whole love yourself for who you are. It's like, yeah, love yourself for who you are, but realize you could also do better, and love yourself enough to realize that you can do better and go do better. Yeah. Right? Because that's truly loving yourself. Because if you didn't love yourself, then you would allow yourself to settle and realize or think that this is the best that it could be, when in reality it's not, right?
If you do love yourself, you're going to want to maximize your fullest potential. And I think, I forgot who I heard it from, but it's just, we actually never know what we're capable of. We can only keep pretty much like excelling and bettering ourselves until the end of your time. And like, one of the best ways, and probably the only way to really be able to excel yourself, is following those footsteps as well, and getting outer input from those people that have done it already, or are, kind of where you're trying to get to. Because it's like, you don't have to have like you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Type of thing. G put in a comment, which also I did want to say, like, you guys let us know too, like, what are some qualities how do you choose your friends? How do you guys choose your friends? Drop it in the comments. You know what I mean? So yes. we want to get your input as we're talking about it, of what we believe, what we want to know, what you guys, what you guys look for pretty much in your group, or who do you decide to surround yourself with?
Yeah. G, keep posting there, but you guys, help her out in the comments. Patty, throw some in. Let's go.
Yeah. And you guys can definitely, and I know you guys, even in self-development, but also like fitness, because I know you guys talk to me here like about excelling yourself, but you guys don't even realize it sometimes, talking about like, if you are in our gym and you kind of, you know who you guys are, but you kind of gravitate and pull yourself towards the groups that are a little bit further along in their journey, and they don't notice it in the moment, but they gravitate towards them because they admire where they're currently at. Right. And you're trying to learn and pick up the skills and knowledge and experience that Dave had, and you're trying to apply it to yourself. So it's like, that innate pretty much like instinct to be with people that you think know more than you.
Right. And at the same time, like Justin Prince says this, like, basically it's the rule of 33, right? So 33% of your time you should spend with people that are, lower on the journey or earlier on the journey than you. 33% of your time should be with people that are at your level. And then 33% of your time should be with people above. Where the extra 1% is, you get to choose, I guess. Yeah. Right. But so you want to spend time, because there's lessons learned at each stage, right? There's new lessons and new things that maybe you didn't face or you didn't have to overcome, that you'll learn by helping someone that's, just starting off. Then you're at your current level, you guys are facing the similar problems and, motivating each other. But then the people that are ahead of you realize that they're ahead of you for a reason. Like, they have the knowledge that you're seeking, right? But also, like, being at the top, for example, not saying this is being at the top, but like, I'm talking about someone, early on the journey, I was working out at the gym last night, and there's probably 2 teenagers, right?
As you guys can tell, that boy Devan is swole.
But working out at the gym, and there's 2 teenagers, you could tell that they're just starting to work out, and just from like their movements and everything like that. So I stopped my set, or I finished my set, and I turned to them and I was like, hey, are you guys, hitting tricep or trying to hit your tricep? Because they're like blending 2 exercises. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, can I show you something real quick? And then I showed them, and they're like, oh, wow. And then all of a sudden, one of the friends is like, oh man, my tricep is cramping. And I was laughing. I was like, yeah, that's how you do it. And I explained what the other movement that they were kind of combining was doing. So now they just learned 2 different exercises, and they understood why. But it was one of those things where it took me 2 seconds of my time, and I just had that impact on both those kids' lives, realizing that, not everyone is a douche at the gym, and that they can ask questions, they can, talk to other people, right? Otherwise, you just see people that kind of staring at each other at the gym, and, I'm going to go try that, not really know what it's hitting. If you see someone looking, offer, to help or like to guide them, right? If someone comes to ask you a question, especially in like a commercial gym, like don't be a dick and blow them off. Like I hate this new trend with people that are recording videos and they think they own a gym, and even, dude, we own a gym, right? And like we own a gym, and like at the same time, I would never tell someone to fucking not walk in front of us recording.
Yeah.
Like I hate those videos that people think, whether they're a trainer, whether they think they're an Instagram influencer, and if they are an Instagram influencer and they do that, like, dude, you can go fucking kick rocks. Yeah. Like, but at the same time, it's like, dude, like the other people that you see in the videos where it's like, I saw this little old grandma that walked up to this like big old bodybuilder, like you could tell they didn't know each other, and she was like, hey, does that hit your triceps? Or is that? And then he's like, yeah, that's how you do it. And she made her do it, and she's like, oh wow. He's like, all right, you got 2 more sets, let's go. She's like, no, I just wanted to try. He's like, no, now you're working in with me. But that creates that community, and that's what the gym is about, right? That's what business is about. That's what a lot of things are about, right?
Yeah. And before I actually they're saying some stuff in the comments. Before I read them off, just to kind of add on top of what you said which is just like what Devan did when he took the time to talk to those 2 kids. One,
that's how me and Nick met. I walked up to him and said, "Oh, here." I'm just kidding.
He walked up to me. He said, "Yeah, you're not working hard enough." No, but just like what Devan did, like, can you guys honestly tell me how often? And I know what you guys might be thinking, like, oh, it's because like you might think that some people get offended if you either ask them or like tell them that if you can give them advice. But that can play on like many different aspects, like how you approach the conversation, who you're talking to, et cetera, et cetera. But the point I want to make is, how many people do you guys actually know would have, the courage and, kind of the mindset to do what Devan did and lend a helping hand. It's been a long day. Lend a helping hand, knowing that he can help excel these 2 guys, right? Meaning that the answer isn't there's not a lot. So to me, that's another indicator that I'm heading, or at least I'm putting myself in the right group, or I'm surrounding myself with the right set of people to help me excel, is because the group gets smaller and smaller. Yeah. The more you climb up to the top of whatever, aspect it is, fitness, health, business, anything, it's like you notice that when you start excelling up and you're getting into higher tiered groups, there's less and less people in a sense. Right. It might be, obviously there might be a community or a number of people, but it's not as big as like the amount of people that was where you pretty much like came from. I think that's just
it's life. Life is essentially a pyramid, right?
It's like a box of chocolate.
No, but like life is a pyramid, right? Like in any area, right? Any area of life. Let's say fitness, right? Everyone January 1st, the first week of January, everyone, you at the bottom of the pyramid, everyone says they're going to start working out. They're going to hit their New Year's resolution. February hits, all of a sudden there's less people, March and so forth, right? Business. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone tries to launch a business or be an online coach or whatever they call themselves as an entrepreneur. That's boom, the bottom of the pyramid. Then you got the people that do it in a month. And then there are people that hit for a year and 6 months and then so forth, right? And it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, right? So it's like in any area of life, one, your dedication, your commitment, and your perseverance through the rough times, because in anything in life, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, right? You just got to realize that like this too shall pass, right? Whether it's good, whether it's bad, you got to, rebound on both of them. So when you start to excel on any path of life, there's going to be less people, but the people that you meet are going to be more genuine typically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's as you get kind of, higher in the higher up, it's like it becomes less of that crabs in a bucket mentality.
Right.
Because the people that are higher in a sense in wherever that is, they know what it took to get there. You know what I mean? They know the struggles. So it's more of like a helping hand mentality, and it's more of like a, an assistive and a caring like kind of mentality, not like the tear you down kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Geraldine said she puts her names on a wheel, spins it, and that's how she chooses. I really hope you don't do that. I'm just kidding. I know you don't do that.
Dang, G.
But
and she also said, she said it's about supporting each other through the journey. It's not a competition.
Right. I mean, hold up. It is a competition, but at the same time, realize that competition isn't bad.
Right.
Right. Because competition is good. We actually just talked about this earlier in the gym today with some members. Like both of us are competitive people. Our team, everyone on the team is pretty much competitive, but at the same time, that competitiveness allows you to push each other and strive for more, right? There's different kinds of competitiveness, right? But the good competitive, nature allows both of you guys to exceed and excel and push boundaries, making yourself better. But with that, going to your girl's comment, Nicole, shout out. Hashtag, I heard you thought I was fat. But she says, who evolve with you are the important, long-lasting friendships, and it's true. And at the same time, realize that it's okay to outgrow friends, and it's not a bad thing. It's not that you can't ever hang out with them. It's just naturally sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
Right? You have a vision that is in your head. It's not their vision. It's not their dream, but by you going along your journey, it's like, going on any journey in life is like walking through the forest with the, in the dark with a flashlight, right? You can only see kind of what's around you. And sometimes they get left in the dark, right? And that's okay, right? If they want to, come back and stuff like that, like they can always reach out, but at the same time, realize that your dedication might be discouraging to them, or they might be holding you back from, your dreams or your goals by telling you can't do it or whatever. And if that's the case, cut the tie and be like, look, cut the finger, save the hand.
Yeah. That G actually said that right before Nicole did, which was right on the nail. She's like, as she was addressing Patty, the ride or die doesn't always work out because sometimes you outgrow people. And just to kind of feed off of a little bit of what you said, me personally, and this is not me saying it in a slander, like, fuck my friends from before. That's not what I'm saying. But it's cliche, but my God, it is so true. Because when people say, "Oh yeah, I don't talk to my friends and my friends from high school anymore," I never really understood that, and when I was a little bit younger. But when we started Strive, when we opened the gym, when we opened the business, dude, like that understanding took me to a whole nother level. And this is me being fully transparent, and I highly doubt my friends from high school listen to our podcast, but so it is what it is. But honestly, when we first opened, I would still see some of my friends. And keep in mind, once I graduated high school, I was on the football team. I knew pretty much the whole school, not a flex, but just saying, to put into perspective, that was a lot of people, that I knew. Now, once I left high school, the circle got smaller, and it was just a handful of your friends that you were really close with, right? Now, as time went on a little bit, and I pretty much excelled. And once we opened the gym, dude, there was a point when I would see them every other weekend or so. And then I noticed that when I would be around them and when we would talk and conversate, and what my inputs were about the gym and about me discovering self, more positive self-development and holding myself to be a high-performing individual, or at least strive to be, I noticed that the conversations I was having with them, it didn't spark. And I kind of got the vibe they were either turned off or annoyed. And keep in mind, these are guys that I grew up with. Yeah. I went to high school with them. I played football. So it's you think you're brothers at the moment, yeah. Right? And then it just clicked for me one day, because we were hanging out, and it's I saw the looks on their faces, dude, shit. Their faces said, dude, shut the fuck up. No one cares about what you're doing with your business partner. And it hit me in the heart in a way that it's like, it didn't even hurt. It was more so like, oh, like, I'm not thinking that I'm better than them. It's not that, because I don't. Because I was expressing, like, you know, the struggles that we were, like, the inner struggles that like having to deal with these things. But it was a moment of realization for me that, damn, they are not in that mental space that I'm at anymore. That my mental space was to shoot up, was for me to better myself. And the goals that the goals that I would speak about was not, they couldn't fathom it, because that they were talking about what they did and what they're going to do next weekend, or the trips that they were planning. I had no input in that. And that was for me like a big realization that I'm not with the right group anymore.
Right.
And that's why now I only have like 3 friends. You're one of them.
I mean, it's like you don't need to have like a million friends, right? Like, I think of it like almost like this thing's called, when it's like a circle inside of a circle inside of a circle.
Oh, the Russian dolls?
Yeah, it's like a Russian doll, kind of. There's a circle, it's a graph. I don't know what it's called. But
I was gonna say Venn diagram, but I know that's wrong.
That's like the circles that are like internet like that. But so you have your close friends. Like, you have the ones that you can, you know, basically you have your 3 a.m. friends, right? This is what I heard this on the internet the other day. Like, you have your 3 a.m. friends, and then you got your like 3 p.m. friends, you know, and the difference basically is like, you can call someone at like 3 p.m. and, you know, they'll hang out, they'll do whatever, but who would you call at 3 a.m. to come get you out of a situation?
And that's
right?
a good one.
That wouldn't ask any questions. That's your like the innermost circle, right? And then you have the one that's right after that, which is still really close friends that, you know, would do pretty much anything for you and help you out and give you advice and push you. And then you have your friends / acquaintances, and then you have your acquaintances and people that you see on a daily basis, right? And that's how it goes, right? If you think you have 100 friends, I guarantee that most of them aren't as close as you think that they are, right? If opportunity comes, guarantee that they step over you to get it.
Yeah.
You know, so that, I mean, you having that realization and you having that light bulb moment, I mean, I've had it a few times, not just with like friends, but also realizing that you have to be careful who you tell your stuff to, not because they're going to down talk you, but you can see it in their eyes when you're talking. They are giving you that like, shut the fuck up, like, look.
Yeah.
And it's like, you get excited about telling them, you know, whatever's happening, and so then they ask you, you know, how's business, how's this, but they don't really care. And so that, especially in the beginning, you know, we've worked so hard to open the gym and launch the franchise and do this stuff. And when someone asks that question, when I ask a question, I actually want to know the answer. Like, I don't ask questions to ask questions. I don't waste my breath. So other people, I've realized that they'll ask the question, but they don't really care what the answer is. It's like just like a formality to them. So then it's like, you just give them the, yeah, everything's good, man. It's going. And then you can kind of tell who's the real friends and who's not, because the next thing, that's it, you know. And then they want to actually know. Other people go, oh, okay, good, and that's it, right? So you can see that separation. So I agree with you. I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, once you realize that, it makes things a lot more clearer to you.
Yeah. I'm trying to read through some of these comments. Deco said, it's healthy competition. It's designed to inspire, not to diminish the other person. Oh, that was from what you had said earlier. Oh, yeah. She said, it's a healthy competition. It's designed to inspire, not to diminish the other person. I'm just trying to read through some of these comments. I appreciate that. And then Nicole said, sometimes people aren't meant to be in our lives for certain stages.
Yeah.
Right. Did I read that right? Oh,
at that certain stages, at that point in your life, that's what served you. And once your priorities shifted, it's no longer served you. # growth. Yeah.
Damn.
Elaborate.
You got any elaboration? I'm still gathering thoughts here.
You got to realize people are, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, like the ending of it, right? Whether it was a good ending or a bad ending, or you outgrew them, or you think they outgrew you, whatever the case is, realize that they're placed in your life for a reason. It was either a learning lesson that they outgrew you because you have settled. or you outgrew them, but yet you still learned lessons along the time with them. The interactions you had with them, how they treated you, the conversations, all that kind of stuff. You learned what you're looking for, not looking for in, you know, a relationship, in a friendship, in a business partnership, in a network, whatever the case may be. Everyone's put in your life for a reason. You just have to realize that if you're not realizing what that lesson is or that reason is, then maybe you just got to relook at the situation, right? Change your perspective.
Right. And then G said, not everyone wants good for you. So, which is very true. That's actually like, I guess like if I were to like ask you like, I guess like the determining factor, or like what would be some of your like key signs, like, you know, when to realize that that certain group of people, they don't want, I guess, what's best for you.
I mean, it's one of those things where people will tell you that they want to see you achieve your goals and stuff, but then they start to switch up once you do start achieving them, or you don't spend as much time hanging out with them because you are working on your goals. So for me, I listen with my eyes and my ears, right? And what I mean by that is if you tell me you're going to do something, or you tell me that, let's say you want to see me succeed, but then I see otherwise, like I'd take both of those and I'd actually, you know, put it together, right? And for my circle of people, if you tell me you're going to do something, even if it's a personal thing, right? Even if you tell me you're going to go run today and you don't go run, if you tell me, you know, you're going to go hang out with the family because, you know, you're going to hang out with the family this weekend because you haven't hung out with them, blah, 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 and then you're out clubbing or whatever, it's like all that is mental notes, like what kind of person you are to me, right? So for me, if I tell you that I'm going to work out, like I'm going to work out. If I tell you I'll be there and I'll meet you there, or I'll tell you that I'm going to help you do this, I'm going to do it. Like, do people forget some stuff? Yeah, of course. But at the same time, like if it happens again and again, like honestly, I just cut it. I just cut the relationship.
Yeah. Okay. No, I agree. I think like if I were to like ask myself that, it's about the actions, like what they do. You know what I mean? And also like kind of like, I guess it's like no one owes you anything, right? But even if it was just like checking in on you, if you had shared like, or if you had spoken about like things you want to do, things you want to accomplish, and if it's like you do see them at a certain point or periodically, and like they never bring it up again, or check on you, or check on the thing, or like at least like provide some kind of accountability, it's like you didn't really give a fuck.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think it goes into like the post. I think I posted it today. Honestly, my days are blending a little bit. I'm pretty sure I posted it today. But it was clap for your friends, even if their dreams take off and launch before yours do, right? And that's something for me. I hold that true, right? I help, even in the business networking group, and even for other people's businesses and stuff, I still try to give advice if asked. I don't just give unwanted advice, right? But when they're exceeding, I don't get jealous of their success. That's showing me that it's possible, right? I use that as motivation, right? I remember you and I were driving the other day, you know, together when we were going to go do that hike. And then, you know, we passed those like crazy houses that were like 14 mil, right? And I told you, I was like, damn, that's crazy. And you're like it's unreal. And I was like, for me, the way I look at this is like, this is someone's reality. It means it could be a reality to anyone, but they've made choices and done things to allow that to be their reality. But when some people see that same house, like if we were in the car, let's say, and I said that, and then you're like, no, they're just lucky. I'm like, okay, I'm taking that in, right? You think luck is just luck. You know, you make your own luck, right?
Yeah.
So if your circle isn't pushing you, but also if your circle doesn't have a perspective of what reality could be, then I think you need to take, you know, a second look at things.
Yeah.
Right.
Damn. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be straight up with it. Like, I'm an emotional person internally. I don't say everything that like, and you know me, like everything that I might feel or think at the moment, I kind of just like learn to like not express it or say right away. But hold on, I'm
gonna clarify for you on that, because you're making it sound bad, right? Like you're meaning for your own emotions and your own problems and your own situations and stuff like that. Like you hold stuff in, and you and I are very similar on that. But you are also a very caring and compassionate person. So when someone else has an issue or has a problem, like you don't just hold it in. Like
100%.
See what I mean?
Yeah. You're
so
right.
Like you're one of those people that anyone could talk to, and you'd give advice and be there with them, which goes into like, again, like with your circle or with your friends or even your best friend, right? Just because they have something and you don't have something, right, doesn't mean that they have to give it to you, right? And that's where I think that, like for us, we own a business, right? And people think that, when your friend owns a business, that, that means you get whatever it is, that service, that product for free. But in reality, you should be supporting that business,
you
right?
100%.
But at the same time, like, let's take it out of like business context, right? If you're sitting in the rain and let's say I have a poncho on, doesn't mean I have to give you my poncho, right? But who would sit in the rain next to you?
Yeah.
It's like those kind of things. Like who's going to be there right by your side and, be with you through that tough time. They don't necessarily have to go through the tough time with you, but who is there to actually be there with you and actually give you advice or be a listening ear? Because for me, that's another huge thing. I don't expect you to, not you, but, expect my circle, right? I was
like, I'd sit
no.
with you, bro.
No, I don't expect like my circle essentially to, give me a handout or anything like that. But at the same time, if I talk or if you talk, like I expect that there should be some compassion. If I'm voicing a problem to you and I do want like your feedback and you don't give me feedback, like even if you're like, yo, I've never faced that, but if I did, and then give me a different perspective or something, like try to help me, even though you might not know the answer. Like that's huge for me.
Yeah.
Right. That the intention of basically trying to help them solve their problem is huge.
Yeah.
Right. Because most people are like, oh man, that sucks. And that's it.
Yeah.
Right. So
and I think like just to add to that, it's like that's how you also allow yourself to get closer to like that right set of group, like the group or the people or the person or a mentor that you're trying to get closer to. It's not so much of like either tearing them down or just like give like, or like give me. It's like also being able to just, what can you provide? Like what can you offer to them? Right. Just like what you're saying, it's like, even if like with like, kind of like in the groups and stuff, like you offering your advice, even if whether they take it or not, it's on them, whether it's like whatever. But the fact that you extended you to the best of your capabilities and knowledge, like you extended some advice and some form of help, that's you providing service and like a lending hand, you know what I mean? And I think that's how at least like an individual like is able to gravitate and pull themselves towards the right direction, towards the right set of people, is understanding that like it's not about just take. It's like, what can you give? You know what I mean? And then because like honestly, like those higher tiered people, like higher tiered groups of whatever it is, like they can recognize, like people aren't stupid. Like they can recognize when somebody that actually wants growth,
right?
That is actually like like they genuinely want to better themselves. And when they see, and with that person showing that, okay, well, this is where I'm at, and like, how can I help you? How can I provide quality to you? Right. And that's like, you have more chances like of being pulled up. You know what I mean? It's like you're manifesting your own success.
Yeah.
I think. So.
No, and I think that, like you're saying, when you do start getting higher and higher up in any that facet of life, whether it's fitness or business or just relationships, right? In your friends, like realize that they've had other people like you in their life at one point. And if you're trying to bullshit them, realize that especially once you start getting towards the top, or like those higher motivated or higher driven people, they can sense that. Like I can tell you right now, like when we interview trainers, I can catch the bullshit real quick. Like you can give me 2 sentences, I can tell if you're bullshitting me or not. Right. And then that doesn't come just, me being a trainer. That comes from years of doing this, right? And years of separating myself from, the crowd of trying to excel myself, right? But at the same time, there are basically two things in a relationship. There's give, there's take, right? And it has to be, you have to realize that in a friendship, business partnership, network, Like you can't just be there to take or withdraw. You know, I don't like the word take, I like withdraw, right? Because it's like, even in like the Facebook groups and all that kind of stuff, like we created the fitness Facebook group for the purpose of like giving fitness advice, but also for other people in the community to share their wins.
Yeah.
So that someone else that is trying to achieve that might ask how they did it, right? And that's where someone can give some advice, someone can take the advice, and then on their journey, they can give how they got there or what obstacles they overcame. So there's give and take and give and take. And that's how basically the network, or that's how the whole community thrives together.
Yeah, I saw like somewhere in the comments, I don't know if that was pertaining to that, but it was like an endless loop. It's just that wording like that, you know, resonated in my head right now. It's just like, it's an endless loop of like contribution to each other.
Yeah.
You know, which I definitely agree with. G said, we know Nick, LOL, you're a Cancer. Okay, well, thanks, G, for saying the obvious. But sorry, something's in my damn eye. Something like literally just poked me in the eye. But with that being said too, make sure you guys do actually on Facebook. If you guys are on Facebook, you do want to be part of the group community that we created. What's the name of it?
It's called Fitness Community by Strive 11 Fitness.
Fitness Community by Strive 11 Fitness.
Right.
So that way, you know, whether you guys are members here at the gym or not, you guys are able to surround yourself and take in information and also give information that, you know, whatever the topic may be, because there it's about health, fitness,
mindset, the struggles of fitness. Because
exactly,
fitness is like the journey of fitness itself and achieving your goals in fitness. Like it's painful mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, right? You know, it could be painful in a relationship, trying to dedicate yourself to your fitness goals and maybe your partner isn't, right? So there's a lot of obstacles in life that fitness is basically has its tentacles in. And that's why we wanted to create a community. We put the Strive 11 Fitness so that you could, there's a million fitness groups on there, so you guys know which one we're a part of. But again, it's for anyone, trainers, it's for gym owners, it's for, you know, our members, it's for non-members, it's for anyone that essentially works out or wants to start working out and doesn't need to be here, just anywhere, right? You post a, you know, I just ran my first mile outside. Awesome. Boom. Throw it in there. Like, let's communicate on and build a community around just being fit and healthy for, you know, you, and you being healthy for you means that you're going to be healthy for your network or your family or your friends, whatever it is.
Yeah. And there's a kind of, I was looking at one of the other comments earlier, like one, I guess, an indicator of knowing when to distance yourself from not the right group is because when I guess when other people like either talk down on you, or they may not bluntly say it to your face or something, you know what I mean, a negative comment or whatever, but if you do get the energy that, you know, that their intent isn't genuine, you know, isn't genuinely for your progress, it's like you just have to kind of distance yourself away from there, from that, you know, that environment, because it's not only just kind of this what is it called, discouraging to you, but I think like that mentally like fucks you up in the head, and it like hinders you from making progress too. And honestly, like I think, see, I don't know, maybe this is the side of me that you were talking about, that it's like being compassionate. It's like at least like trying to help that person or those people, you know, kind of like, hey, why you got to be so goddamn negative? You know what I mean? Like trying to show them the better way, you know, the like extend that helping hand. You know what I mean? I don't know, I'm torn. Me personally, I'm just torn. Like when I, like me personally, you're not speaking for other people, but like, it's like, I want to extend the helping hand to like, you know, help them not be in that place of negativity, but to, hey, you know what, you can do better yourself as well. You know what I mean? Like you can make things positive, but at the same time, it's like another side of me is like, hey dude, like fucking get away from me. You know what I mean?
I mean, but it also allows you, I get it, you don't want the energy rubbing off on you. At the same time, like that's where during the interaction, like you're not like, hey, get away from me. But then you realize that if like,
in my head, I'm like,
but if this is like a reoccurring thing, then that's probably someone that you're not going to end up hanging out with, right? Or being around because they're always like that. But at the same time, if someone is down or someone is being negative, like you don't need to be there and be like, you got this, and try to be a, foo-foo and, puff them up and everything like that. Because like, even, me, like, I'm not that kind of person. Like, I'm very direct. I'm, straightforward and very sarcastic, but at the same time, if someone is in like not feeling it, or if they're in a negative mindset, like, awesome, like, explain it to me so I understand. Like, I don't understand where or why you're feeling like that, and they're like, oh, because this, yeah, but why? Explain it to me, right? And then when they start explaining it, I try to, one, you have to actually listen to what they're saying, but then give them a different perspective on maybe a lesson that they're not seeing, right? That didn't work out, or that date didn't go well. That's fine. That, whatever the case is, but give them a different perspective. And usually, in most cases, that perspective might start to bring them out of that negative mindset. And if it doesn't, then, maybe you got to try a different analogy or something, or it just might be the fact that that person is just a negative person, and it's, woe is me, and, the world is out to get me. And if that's you, it's like, okay, get away from me. The world's not out to get you. You're out to get yourself.
Yeah.
And then twiddle your thumbs in the corner, please.
I don't know. I would just like, the thoughts in my head is like much more aggressive. But I think another part of, being able to surround yourself with the right set of group, comes back to self-realization, like wanting more for yourself. You know what I mean? Because like, yeah, we know we should know, or we've established that it's just a time continuum of like, at a certain, when your time is up, it's up. It's like, it's what you decide to do with the time that you have,
right,
is what matters. So having that self-realization when you do hit each set of groups, it's like, when you feel yourself being comfortable, complacent, it's like, just try to remember, or I guess like, what's your tips for like remembering, like, okay, now is like a time where I should start aiming to, bigger goals. I think that is like maybe one aspect of like realizing. I just kind of answered my own question. It's like realizing like when it's time to, I guess, start again, not leaving your friends or anything, or your current group or whatever, but start looking to branch out into other groups or mentors or people that will help you excel. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you're starting to plateau, then that's when you reach out for help, right? But you should always be connecting with people, like-minded people, and it doesn't mean you need to be actively looking on social media for them. Like, when you come into contact at the gym, or whatever you're doing, I don't care, but whatever you do in your free time, and you're meeting other people that have similar goals or similar aspirations to yourself, you're meeting them and introduce yourself and so forth. But realize that at the end of each day, you should be doing what we mentioned in previous episodes, your self-evaluations. And if you realize that you don't have a goal that you're working towards right now, you have settled. So it's not that you need to all of a sudden, you're trying to hit this goal. I'm going to start shooting my goals for bigger goals. It's like, no, you still need to hit that goal to even get to the next goal. You can set your goals 10 goals out. That's fine. But in reality, you might hit goal 3 and change what goal 10 is. So it's like, realize if you're not aiming towards a goal or going in a direction and hanging around with other people that are trying to win in life, right, and just excel in life and better themselves every day, then you need to reassess and reevaluate yourself, right? Because the better you make yourself, the better you're going to make your network, your group, your friends, right? And that's what's going to level you up into those higher networks of friends and areas of life, right? So again, it all comes back down to
Yeah,
self-evaluation.
you
If
gotta
you-
want more for
You gotta want more for you.
Yeah,
right.
You guys, we only get one. You only get one shot.
But I know we're getting to that time, guys. Make sure you guys share this episode, but share our episodes. Leave that review. We appreciate you guys and all the support that you guys do give. Before next Friday's live episode, we will post some suggestions as well. So feel free to throw your suggestions in there. We love all the comments and everything that you guys have posted and have been active and interactive today.
Yep.
Not saying you have to, but if you really feel a desire in your heart to go to the tribe page and share this one post that we're at 2.9 million views. I mean, it's bugging me that it just hasn't hit that 3, you know?
If you guys haven't seen it, Devin and I.
If you haven't seen it, go see it, is what I'm trying to say.
That's exactly. Like Devin and I have a handshake video that's like at 2.9 million views. And
yeah,
it's
all
like,
organic,
it's
not
almost,
boosted
it's
or anything.
almost at 3 million. And if it doesn't hit 3 million, I don't know.
If it doesn't hit 3 million, Nick's going to end up having to do one of these other challenges with me. That's usually like boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, obviously we didn't do something crazy enough to get the views. So, you know, who knows? But no, we appreciate you guys, honestly, all the support that you guys do give and the interactiveness with you guys. It's always fun. We love doing these live episodes because of that. But
we're trying to provide service.
But with that being said, guys, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. See you guys on the next one.
Negative vibes, only positive thoughts. Just in the game of life, mindset causes shots. Got my mind on the prize, I can't be distracted. I stay on my grind, no time to be slacking. I hustle hard, I go